Hi, welcome again to another edition of Chair Yoga. My name is Karen Lyons, and today what we're going to be focusing on is lengthening the spine, working on our core, and working on our rib cage and our hips, flexion, and then also just the mind in itself, trying to still the mind. So we'll be doing like 8 different postures, and we're going to try to weave them together to kind of create what we call a flow. And of course, like anything, you want to make sure that you just do what you can do. Listen to your own body, and have fun with it, basically. And today I have a blanket, and of course I have some blocks that I'm going to be using too. If you don't have blocks today, that's okay. You can use whatever you have to kind of bring the floor up to you, because that's basically what we'll be using the blocks for today. The blanket is, for me, my legs are a little bit short, so for grounding in purposes, I'm going to be using this blanket to have my feet on it, so that'll keep me nice and tall. And make sure you have plenty of water. And again, just do what you can do. Sometimes if you want to just look through the video first, so you have a heads up as to what's coming, that might be a good idea. Otherwise just follow along, and like I said, just have fun with it, okay? So again, we're doing 8 postures today, so get ready. So here we go. So we're going to start by grounding in. We always want to try to ground in, so by doing that, we take our hands onto our thighs. We're going to press in nice and firm. And we're going to start to bring in pranayama, bring in breath first. It's always good to just kind of settle in, settle down the nervous system, that parasympathetic and sympathetic nervous system, bringing them into homeostasis, into that balance. And we just pressing onto the thighs to lift up, pull the belly button in. Then maybe take your shoulders up by your ears and round them down and away. And today, we'll just bring a breath in that works for you. So it's just important to bring the inhalation in through the nose and then out through the nose if you can, right? And if you have to breathe out through your mouth for the first few rounds, by all means, please do that. Sometimes it takes us a little bit to just get settled in, right? So just go ahead and maybe soften the gaze or soften your eyes, close your eyes, and start to bring some breath in through the nose and out through the nose. Nice deep breaths. And then what I'd like you to do is notice where the breath is coming from and going to. So perhaps maybe you're only breathing in through the upper chest, so notice that. Maybe you're breathing in the belly. If you are, that's a great opportunity for you to bring even more breath into the body by expanding the belly out. So that would be a simple inhale. Let that belly rise with the inhalation. And then exhale, let that belly come back. You can even put your hand on your belly so that you can feel that. So inhaling, let the belly rise. And then exhale, let the belly soften back, okay? And it really doesn't matter if you're breathing through the chest or the belly, as long as that you're bringing in a full round of breath and relaxing through there. So just notice, take some stillness, take a moment, find some gratitude for yourself for just even flipping on the channel and watching this, right? And then settling in, getting used to your surroundings. Right? Noticing the breath coming in through the nose. Maybe you can feel that it's a little on the cooler side. And then when you breathe out, it's a little bit more warmer and moist. Again, it's an awareness. That's what yoga is all about, is having an awareness of our body. And every body is different. Right? Everybody's got a history with their bodies, so be mindful of that. Good. And then this is usually a place where you just, before you begin, you set an intention, for your day, for your practice, how you see yourself going throughout the day. Finding that stillness. Great. And sometimes you can take as long as you want to ground in, maybe good 5, 10, 15 minutes, however long you want to take to ground yourself in is doable. It's what you want to do, is you want to take the time for yourself. There you go. All right, so we will begin, and we're going to start. We're just going to take our shoulders up by our ears and round them down and around. And you want to make big, exaggerated movements here with the shoulders. You want to feel your shoulders. You want to feel the shoulder blades squeezing together. You're broadening through your collarbone, right? You're lifting up. It's oftentimes we find ourselves slouching. So I will remind you too that today, if you notice, I have a chair. It's on a mat. Okay, you always want to find a nice sturdy chair to work out of, okay, one that is not movable, like with wheels or anything like that, and you want to have it on a nice sturdy surface. So then let's just move forward. And that sturdy surface sometimes is slippery, especially with these newer vinyl flooring. So you want to make sure you have maybe a mat, like myself, or a rug, a non-skid rug, and you've got the chair on there. Especially if we do standing postures, because we use the chair as a prop. So you don't want to be slipping and falling, pushing the chair away from you. Good. Good. And then maybe roll back once, and then roll forward, and then back, and then forward. Good. Awesome. I also, like I said, have blocks today and the blanket for help. So we're going to start with our shoulders. So just take your arm out like you're going to shake somebody's hand, and I want you to move it across the opposite side of the body, but keep your body straight and forward. You can feel that arm. If you need a little help, just go ahead and pull it over. Get as much length in that. You should feel this on the outside edge of your shoulder, right about here, right in that tricep area. Then what you're going to do is swing that arm all the way back, but keep, again, your body straight and forward. Try to bring it back as far as you can. Now you're opening up through the pectoral area, okay? Nice stretch. So just bring that arm back as far as you can. Then we'll bring it out to the side, okay? We're going to flip the palm of the hand so now it's up towards the ceiling. And again, reach the arm out without reaching the body out. Just try to reach out from the armpit. Then reach the arm up towards the ceiling, straight up. You want to kind of try to connect the ear and the bicep together. So you want to draw that arm back as far as you can, reaching with a nice straight elbow if you can, right? Now sometimes you might want to cross the other hand over the opposite knee for a little bit of leverage as you dip down over towards that left side of the body, right? And I got the left hand on the right side of the knee to help me here. And just really reach and get down as far as you can, stretching, opening up that whole side of the body. It's going to feel nice and good, right? There we go. And then we're just going to swing that arm all the way back down, right? Till the fingertips come to the floor. And then just kind of roll the arm around, little figure eights, shake it out a little bit. Perfect. And then we'll try that on the other side. So just reach out like you're going to grab and shake someone's hand. We're going to draw the arm across the body, and again, you can reach out from that elbow and give it a good little help, little lift assist here, so that you really feel that. Keep the fingers open if you want to, working through those fingers. And then sliding that hand across what I call the horizon, and then bringing it all the way back. And you might notice one shoulder you can do a little bit deeper, and the other one you quite can't get there. That's okay. That's what happens. It's having the awareness is the most important thing, that one side of the body is a little bit different than the other. It's all about awareness. And then bringing it back up, flip the palm of the hand again. And then again, reaching up, try to get that elbow as straight as possible. Think about a garden hose, right? It won't flow if it's bent. So the same with our energy. You want to keep it nice and lifted, right? Reaching right on up. And then here we go. We're going to dip over to the right. Keep that chin up away from the chest. You might even need to take a slight little back bend. Coming over. Good. Beautiful. And then reaching it back down, and the same thing, just go ahead and bring that hand down, little figure eights with that arm, right? And then just go ahead and shake it out. Beautiful. All right, now both hands, here we go. Reach both arms up, palms are facing up. Now I want you to reach from your armpit, really feel the arms coming right out of that collarbone, right out of the sternum, lifting up in that pelvic bowl, pulling that belly button in, lifting right on up. Have that shoulder girdle like a hanger, right? Just reaching it all the way out. Beautiful. Now bring the hands all the way up towards the ceiling, reaching them, pointing fingertips up towards the ceiling. But now take the shoulders down, okay? So you want to push those shoulder blades down towards the edges of the spine. Clasp your hands here if you can, otherwise just keep your fingers lifting towards the ceiling, and then you're going to push through the palms of the hands. Lifting up and breathing. This is a great opportunity to bring some breath into the body. And then bring that hand down and then scoop it in. Pull on your fingers as if you want to try to take them apart, but they don't. This is really good for the arthritis in the fingers. And then release, okay? Good, and shake it all out. Beautiful. And then we're just going to slowly work through the neck a little bit. So just dropping the head down towards the chin, chin towards chest, chin towards chest, and then roll over to the left side, right? And then drop and roll over to the right. Just take your time with these. A lot of times we build up bone spurs in our neck, so we want to be mindful of that. Our C1 and C2 are usually the ones that, gather up the arthritis first. So just be mindful, take it slow. Just get some movement in that neck. Good. And then coming right back to center. Beautiful, good. And then we're just gonna look over the right shoulder, like an owl, right? Looking over that right shoulder. And then come on back and we'll take it to the left. So just warming up the body. You really do want to warm up the body before you do any kind of postures or asana, right? So now we'll take it to the hips. So I'm going to move my blanket away and I'm going to bring my feet firm onto the floor. And I've got my heels in and my toes out a little bit. This is to give me a little bit more movement. And we're just going to start to roll around in the pelvic bowl, and we're going to try to bring it as deep as we can. So we're rolling around, and as I come forward, I'm really trying to get a straight spine, looking right on out, right? Out of that cervical spine. And at all times, both sits bones should stay firm onto the floor. Not the floor, your chair. Unless you want to be on the floor. And then rolling it all the way around. You start to get the shoulders into it, right? The more you do, the looser you'll become, right? These are really good for our hip joints. Rolling it all the way around, good. We're gonna pause and then just take that rotation around the other way. Now, of course, if this isn't doable for you, you can just slow it down and make these circles even smaller and just let them come from the chest region more than the hip region. So again, you know your body better than I do, so you do what you can do and we can always adjust. So here we go. Beautiful. Now we're going to come into the legs a little bit. We're going to work this thigh muscle, right? So first what we're going to do is just kind of open up through the back of the knee. So just, you can support your knee with your hand if you'd like, and just kick the knee in and out, right? You can have your hands on your hips or even on the chair for a little extra support, okay? Now we're going to bring in some flexion. We'll bring some flexion in, so you want to flex through the foot, then point. Flex and point. Flex and point, flex and point. There you go, flex and point, flex and point. Good. And then just tap it out. And then from there, we're going to pump this leg up and down as if you are like a bicycle pump. You just up and down, up and down, up and down. There you go. This is a killer. You're going to feel that in that quad. So just come up and down until the quad starts talking to you and start to get a little bit of a burn. Then you know you want to stop. Okay, take a break anyways and then start up again. Good. And then we'll try that on the other side. So first, again, we're just kicking through the knee, working through the knee joint, right? Lifting up, and then again, we're gonna start with that flexion. So it's a flex and point down, flex, point, flex, and point, flex, and point. Good, flex, and point, flex, and point. Beautiful. And then try those pumping action, right? And again, notice if this side's a little easier or a little bit crankier. Up and down, up and down, up and down. There we go. Beautiful. And then coming down, beautiful. And just tap stuff out, right? Tap it out a little bit. Good. And we'll take a nice inhale up and exhale down. Beautiful. So the first posture we're going to do is called Warrior One. We're going to start off in Warrior One, and I'm going to take you today onto the side of the chair. So I'm going to swing around on the chair. Now this is where your blocks will come in handy. I have two different varieties. I have a larger cork block, and then I have a smaller one. You can see the difference in the size, right? So for me, I have short legs, so oftentimes I'll take the smaller block and I bring the floor up to me so that I can keep my knee in a nice 90-degree angle, right? That's what we're trying to establish here with this foot. And then I'm going to take my left leg back, okay? And here is where another block might come in handy for you. So if you have any knee issues, right, you could actually bring the block down and right underneath that knee, okay? Otherwise, if you're used to doing this, or if you've done it before, or you have good flexion in the hip already, you take that leg out and slide it out, and you can open up that knee, okay? And you'll feel that right in that hip flexor. I'm gonna hold on to the back of the chair till I get my bearings and get straightened here and feel comfortable. Feeling safe first is the more important thing. So you wanna feel safe and secure, and then strong and sturdy. So remember the yeses. Safe and secure, strong and sturdy. So we're hanging onto the chair. Okay, and now I'm going to come into the Sanskrit word for this is Virabhadrasana 1, Warrior 1. I'm going to take my hand up, okay, and I'm going to reach up. Now this is a beautiful heart opener. We're really lifting up through our rib cage. So I'm using my front foot. I'm going to plant my front foot firmly in and use that as leverage to come back and take a slight little back bend as I open up my heart towards the ceiling. All right, so this is Warrior 1. And then I'm going to come back. Then what I can do is that once I feel comfortable is maybe take both hands up into a pointer finger, what we call pointer finger here, right? We call it a sword sometimes in our yoga postures, warrior postures. We lift up, and again, the shoulders come down. I'm lifting up, breathing. This is really a great opportunity to bring breath into that body. And then I'm going to kind of slide over towards the back of the chair. So I'm getting a side stretch now, opening up through the left side of the body. Chin is away from the chest, right? Here you go. Good. And then I'm going to come up. I'm going to release my left hand, sweep it back, right? And this is what we call our reverse warrior. So I reach that arm up and I start to take a little bit of a dip back and really get a nice back bend here, really opening up. Beautiful. Now from there, all right, now we're going to come into what we call humbled warrior. So that is, I'm going to take my hands behind my back, press my knuckles down, right? And really press those knuckles down so that you're opening up through the chest, opening up through the heart. My foot is still there, right, on that back left toe, right? Now, if you can't quite clasp your hands like that, you can just hang on to your elbows, right, or your wrists, or just put your hands on your hips. It's all good. Or hold on to the back of the chair, okay, especially if you're not feeling too sturdy here. You want to hang on to that back of that chair. That's why we're in it, all right? So now, the same thing, I take a slight little back bend, And now I'm going to take myself forward. Now this is interesting because a lot of us don't have that flexion in the knee. The knee might be bent a little bit on this side, but when I start to bring my body forward, okay, and I start to hinge, I'm able to open up that hamstring, so I can really open up that leg and make it nice and straight, and then come right on down towards that knee. And this is why we call it humbled warrior. We're humbling ourselves, right? Coming right on down, reaching those arms, maybe get them up a little bit higher, right? Or not, don't worry. Just reach as far as you can. Good, and then we're gonna come right back up. Whew. That works the cardiovascular system. So you probably feel your heart racing a little bit, which is a good thing, you know, get the blood flowing, right? All right, so now from there, I'm gonna take this front block and I'm just gonna move it out a little bit, and I'm gonna bring my foot into it, and I'm gonna try and straighten out this front leg. Now I'm gonna position myself a little bit closer to the edge of the chair so I can get this position better for myself. So now this is more like a split, but it's actually called Parsvottanasana. And actually I wanna bring my blocks right here. I'm gonna use these nice big blocks, okay? So I'm lifting up, okay? And again, I'm pushing off that back foot. So I want to push off the back foot, and I'm going to do that hinge again, but this time I'm going to utilize the blocks for a little extra support. So I'm going to come down, that leg stays straight. I'm going to reach my arms down onto the blocks. Now notice I have the blocks up the higher level. If you've got nice long arms, you might not need the blocks this high, but I do. So now I'm lifting up, I'm getting that length in my back body. So I want to think about pushing down my pelvis down as I reach up and out. Okay? Take a few rounds of breath here. I know this is a lot today, right? Just breathe in. And then as you exhale, bend your elbows and let yourself come right down. You're gonna feel it in that hamstring and that front leg. It's gonna be talking to you, which is a good thing. We wanna stretch it out a little bit. Not overstretch it, but just stretch it enough. I always say, find the ooh, not the ow. So as soon as you start to feel that ow, come back out of it. Don't go so deep. And then come right on down. Good, and then we're just gonna slide that foot back, take those blocks up, and now we're gonna open up to the front. And we're gonna come into our Warrior Two posture. So on this posture here, I've got my right knee bent and my left one out straight. And if you can, dial the toe in. If you can't get this extension like this, it's okay. Let me move my blanket so you can see. You can come onto the heel, right? And you can even bring the foot in front. Not everybody's gonna have, you know, the hip extension or the opening of the hip as much. So maybe you start out here, okay, and then you slide it out to the side a little bit more the more you do it, right, and then out further. But don't try to like come onto the heel like this, like turning your foot inward. If you can't get your foot like right on the floor, it's better to have it up on the heel, okay? So here we go. So this is our Warrior Two posture. I'm on the edge of the chair. I'm going to take my hands to my heart, lift my elbows, right? And again, this is a warrior posture, so we're cultivating that strength and stillness and stability, right? And then confidence, a lot of confidence. So reach the arms out and then take your gaze over the middle finger there and reaching and looking at the middle finger. Okay? And then from there, we're going to take it into what we call angle pose. So again, you might want to have a block right here. Okay? There's a couple of ways of doing this. You can take and bend your elbow onto your thigh and then sweep the arm up. And if the arm is too much for you, just go ahead and put it right down onto your hip. It's all good, right? So that's one way. Another way is to come onto the block and reach up. So then you can take your hand and take your guide. And again, if the arm is too much, maybe you go on your head, right? The other way is not without a block. You're going to take those fingertips right down towards the inner seam of that ankle and then reach up and then try to stack your arms right up on top of one another. Your shoulders are right on top of one another. And I'm using the inner seam of my leg to help with that rotation. And once again, maybe this arm is too much, so just bring it behind you and try to keep that pectoral open and that shoulder open and back as you come into the angle pose like this. Right? All right, and then we take a nice breath in, reaching the arms out, and we're just going to reverse that a little bit by reaching the arm up, getting that reverse in there, and breathing. Good, and then coming right down, back into our warrior two, right? And then we're just gonna bring our hands together at our heart space, take a nice inhale up, and exhale down. All right, so that was connecting all of those poses together in what we call a flow. So now we'll try and do it on the other side, and I'll try to cue you through it as well on this side. So we'll take a nice inhale up, exhale, come on over to the left. Taking that right foot down and out, position yourself on the chair. And again, maybe you don't need the blocks. If you come a little bit further forward on the chair, right, like so, sometimes you get a little bit more able to get that length in the back of the leg, okay? So if you're way back here, you might not get it. You need to bend that knee. Does that make sense? I hope so. So now we're gonna come right to the edge. And see, I don't really, if I come to the edge, I don't need the block so much. So I'm gonna hold on. Here we go. Warrior one, reach the arm up. Get your stability first, right? Reach that arm up. Feel that length. Feel that strength. Lift that rib cage. Pull the belly button in. Breathe. Then take the other arm up. Reaching, reaching, reaching. Okay. Good. Then bring the fingertips together. We're still breathing here. We're going to now take a little dip into the side of the back, or I should say the back of the chair, opening up through that armpit on the outside edge. Then come back, sweep this arm back, and take your reverse. Breathing here. Good to take at least one round of breath when you're in a particular posture. Then bring your hand behind your back, right? Squeeze those shoulder blades towards each other. Let those knuckles fall down as far as they can, remembering that you can adjust your arms if you need to. Then you're going to start to push into that back foot. As you lift up, squeeze those shoulder blades together, start to hinge forward. As you hinge forward, those arms are going to come up as high as they can go, but don't go too far. You don't want to overextend. Breathing here. Then we're going to come on up. We're going to take it into that Parsvottanasana. So I'm going to use my two blocks. I'm going to slide out like almost like I'm doing a split on the chair. Huh? It's a little intense, I get it. And then bring the hands down, right? Keep the chest lifted at first to get the length. So you really want to try to feel your sits bones, kind of work your lower spine out of the pelvic bowl as you're reaching your heart forward towards your toes, right? And the crown of the head is towards there too. Soften through your shoulders and then go ahead and dip down as far as you can. Breathing here. Then as you come up, slide that foot back in, and then you've prepped yourself for that warrior two on this side. So we've got the foot, knee bent on this side. Move that so you can see. And then again, taking this foot into an angle, okay? Your hips are squared. That's what this one is doing for us. It's really squaring our hips to bring the energy up through the spine. Hands are together at our heart space. Lifting up, breathing here. Then we're going to reach the arms out into like a T formation, and I invite you to like make sure you're not like one arm is up higher than the other. You're really reaching from both arms, right? Okay, get that seesaw, right? And then squeeze your shoulder blades down and around and reach. Good. Huh? Yeah. And then you can actually reach a little bit further for this before you take it into the angle pose, sliding the hand down and reaching up this way. And again, remember you can bend the elbow at the thigh if you'd like, reaching here, creating that stillness, that strength. We actually have a little bit of a twist going on too in the rib cage here by pressing that arm into the leg. Nice big breaths here. This is really working for us, getting that energy to flow throughout the body. And then we're just going to come up and just kind of seesaw back and reverse this, coming all the way back up. Good, and then coming back into that warrior two for a moment, then just bringing everything together, right? And the hands at the heart. Beautiful. And then take a nice inhale up. Sweep the arms down. Good. And then again, inhaling it up. Sweep the arms down. So that was actually 8 postures that we did, and we kind of brought them all together, working through the core, the hip, strengthening both the body and the mind, right? And so before we finish up, what I'd like to do now is just do a seated down dog. So take one of your blocks, okay, and bring it to the middle of your feet. And again, your feet are out wide again still. We're going to take a nice inhale up. But this time we're going to hinge forward. As we hinge forward, we're going to grab hold of the top of the block, okay? And then what I'm going to have you do is just slide the block out and away from you as far as you can, right? And drop your head down and breathe. And then just slide it back. And then inhale up. So that's a seated down dog that you can always do too. And then exhale the hands down. Beautiful. Good. All right, so taking our right knee in, give it a good squeeze, roll that ankle around a little bit. If you have the ability to touch the head to the knee, go for it. All right, just squeezing here. And then taking it to the other side, bring that knee in, give it a good squeeze, roll that ankle around, maybe touch the forehead. And then we're going to do that again, all right? But what I want you to do now is try to come all the way down to your ankle, right? Rather than just underneath the knee or the shin, go way down the ankle and pull it way up, right? There you go. And now we're going to extend it out. We're going to lift up nice and tall, toes are up, and then you're just going to hinge forward. Working again through that hamstring, breathing, using the back side of the chair to hang on to the back side of the chair. And then slide that foot in, okay? Maybe I'll turn the chair just a little bit so that you can kind of see what I'm hanging on to. So again, knee comes in, tuck it way in, use that ankle grip, right? Lifting up, breathing. This is good for our digestion. And then go ahead and extend the leg out. So I have my toes are up. I'm going to hold on to the back side of the chair, lifting up, squeezing my shoulder blades together. Then I come down, okay? Leaning in with my heart, not my shoulders, all right? And again, you feel that hamstring. Beautiful. And then slide that foot back, turn. I'll turn, you don't need to, and tap it on out. Beautiful. All right, and we'll just finish up with a little bit of movement with the arms again. So we're just going to reach up and down. Hands are going to come up and flex. A few flexion in the wrist. Good. And then just bring the hands together, and then you're going to take the thumbs down. You're going to cross over, clasp those hands, and draw them in, and take a nice little hug for yourself. Breathe in and breathe out, and then reach those fingers out, unwind. And again, this time maybe make just circles with just the wrists. Keep the arms out where they are. Maybe one way and then the other. Bring the hands out, flip the palms, this time the left over the right, and draw it in. Squeeze, lift, breathe. And relax. Beautiful. And then we can sit back in our chair, maybe bring our support back for our feet. And we can then take what we call our Shavasana. Similar to grounding in, you want to find a good position with the buttock bones. We're sitting up nice and tall. We're bringing our hands down onto our thighs. And for today's Shavasana, we will stay seated. Sometimes we do get down onto the floor. But for today, we'll stay seated and just start to bring that breath back in. So we're kind of, going out the same door we came in. So just start to find that breath nice and gentle. Inhaling through the nose and out through the nose. Maybe taking a moment to recall your intention. Finding that moment of stillness. It's so important every day to try to find at least 5 minutes of quiet time for your mind. Stilling the mind. Bringing the breath into it. And anytime your mind starts to wander, that's a good thing. Just bring it right back to the breath. And then we drop our hands down by our side again. Lift up, shoulders away from your ears. Fingertips are down by your side. We're going to take 3 rounds of breath to close. The first one is for our physical body, our body. We breathe it in, and then we breathe out any tension. Drop the hands. We breathe in for our minds. We breathe out any worries, right? Any anxiety. And then the last one, we breathe it in for our souls. We bring it down into our heart space, for this is what we are, I am. My heart is filled with gratitude to knowing that I have this opportunity to share my passion with you. And I now want to let you know and remind you that the love and the light that you continue to shine upon myself is the same love and light that I shine on you. So we bow to gratitude towards each other as we say Namaste. Thank you so much, everybody. Have a great day.